Good morning, Wendy. Thank you for joining me.
Hello.
As everyone should know by now, the point in these interviews is to help people get out of the lockdown funk and focused on a positive future. I have got Wendy joining us this morning, which is an absolute pleasure. Reflexologist and more, which she'll tell you all about in a moment. Absolutely pleasure to have you with us. So, Wendy, would you like to tell us who you are and what you do?
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. So yeah, I'm Wendy Watson, and I am a reflexologist. I'm a foot reader, and I am also a shamanic practitioner and coach. Everything I do is linked to the feet and all things foot related, that's really my doorway or my way in to helping you in whichever way you need that help. Based in Sandwich, in Kent, and that's who I am in my business capacity.
You've got a lovely little treatment room in Sandwich. I've been there myself. I've had some, what did I have? I had Reflexology, but I had something else as well.
Yeah, so I think you had my triple combo treatment.
Yeah.
And that involves some metamorphic reflexology. So we're looking at helping you to transform, which is one of my favorite things to help people with. But we also used the Rebozo technique, where we sort of swaddled you in pashminas and cocooned you in this beautiful space. And then we did some shamanic work, we did that reflexology, and then as we unwrapped you, you sort of emerged this new butterfly, and yeah, it's a beautiful process.
It was
I love doing it.
Because I said to you before, didn't I? I was like, I don't like people touching my feet. But I absolutely loved it. I felt like I was walking on air afterwards.
And it's a different touch, you know. If my husband touches my feet, I'm like, oh, get off, it's a bit annoying, and maybe, you know, it's maybe the wrong touch, I don't know, but most people I think as a therapist it is a very different touch. It's a very definite touch. It's not too firm that it's painful, but it's not too gentle that it's ticklish. It is a very different touch.
So the point in having all of these interviews is to kind of look at the effects that lockdown has had and try and find ways to overcome them so that we can start feeling more positive. So the impact of this lockdown, I think particularly all of them, but I know a lot of people that have suffered in this lockdown to their mental well-being. For various reasons. I mean, I started making a list of the different reasons why people have had their mental well-being affected, and it just went on and on and on. So it's huge, and some worse than others. So I know that reflexology can have a really good impact on your mental well-being. So how can it? Can you give us some insights as to why and how?
Yeah, so basically our reflexology always works the whole body, but when we're talking about the impact of mental health during lockdown, I think probably it's stuff that may have been sitting with us, but we've never had enough time to deal with it. So it's kind of bubbling to the surface, and past traumas have been triggered and released. So basically it's our emotional state. And also our nervous system as well. We're all on edge. We're at this very prickly stage of our emotions. So when that happens, it can release a stress factor. We feel really stressed with that as well, anxious, which obviously has a knock-on effect to our mental health. When we're in that stress factor, stress zone, we release hormones that make the stress even worse and amplifies it, and that's called cortisone. I think I've said that correctly. But basically how reflexology helps is obviously the impact of touch is phenomenal, and as we touch we start to release more hormones, endorphins, serotonin, all of those happy hormones. So obviously at the moment we're in lockdowns, you can't get to your therapist for touch, but you know you can touch yourself. You can, and that sounds a bit weird. So, you know, just literally give yourself a little hug, you know, rub your hands together, feel that energy, rub your feet. So that can help to release those happy hormones. Reflexology helps to eliminate toxins. And we know that when we're stressed, all those emotional toxins build up in the body. It causes too much acid in the body. So we really want to come back to a nice homeostasis state of being. It helps with the flow of blood and the flow of lymph, which oxygenates the blood. And when we have oxygen flowing, we're already feeling a lot better and more focused. It works the endocrine system. It really works the whole body, not just the physical, but it always works on the emotional, mental and spiritual state of your being. But overall, if nothing else, it induces a sense of relaxation and well-being. And if you only go away with that has such an amazing knock-on effect, and is so important for your well-being. And not just in lockdown, in every phase of your life.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, just because once we do come out of lockdown and things do start to come back to normal, or whatever normal we're going to have, life's still going to be tricky and difficult and stressful, because that is life. But no, I think that's great.
And don't wait until you get to that point of no return. You know, keep it as part of your self-help well-being before you get to that point. Let's not treat dis-ease. Let's keep you in harmony.
What is it? It's not is it prevention? That's it. Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
It's like there's been a theme throughout all of these conversations I've been having, and everyone's saying the same thing. It's like about making time for yourself, and, you know, make an appointment with yourself for your self-care, and keeping that consistent is so important in just so many different regards. So completely agree. Good. So is there anything else that reflexology can help with, helping people get focused on a positive future? So we had to talk a lot about our mental well-being and our positivity, but is there anything else it can help with?
Yes. So like I said earlier about the treatment that you received, one of the things I love doing is helping people to be in their power, and I can do that sort of from the soles of your feet back to your soul, your essence, and I just like to use the feet to help you come back into that power, to remind you of who you are. And so how I do that is something that I'm calling the Phoenix process. We're all probably familiar with that, and, you know, rising back up out of those ashes. And for me, reflexology is that tool to get you there, and to help you walk a pain-free way through the fire, and the trauma, the pain, all of those issues that you might have in your tissues, to just bring it out and burn it, let it go, so that you can just be who you are, and you can, you know, sing your voice and shine your light. And so for me, that's really what reflexology helps with. You know, bringing you back to your purpose, reigniting your passion for life and for what you do, and allowing you to go out and do that. If that answers the question.
Absolutely, yeah. So what advice would you give to people to help better their well-being during lockdown?
There's lots that I can give, but I would say nature and nurture. So when we are in nature, and for me that's been one of the most positive things, not just for myself but for many people, being out in nature helps us to reconnect ourselves. You know, our feet have over 7,000 nerve endings in each foot, and they help or they're designed to keep us balanced. And these nerve endings help us to connect and to understand the world around us. And so when we're connecting to that heartbeat of Mother Earth, and she sends that ripple back up through us, through our feet, through our body, coming back to our own heartbeat and reminding us of our purpose and who we are. You know, we might have a mum hat, we might have a business hat, but you know, what is our sole purpose here? So that's really important, being in nature. And you know, once we're there, you know, we all know, as soon as you step into a forest, you walk into this magical place that everything just seems to disappear and you're just in a happy place. And so to keep that constant state of being, it should be really a daily practice. And then just nurturing yourself. So self-care is one of the biggest things that have come out of lockdown for many people. And I kind of liken it to ourselves as a tree. So if you plant your tree really well, you get those roots in, so getting grounded, get those roots deeply planted, you know, give it all the mulch and nourishment that you know, the right soil. And then water it daily. And then that watering of the daily is a bit like when you exercise your physical body. It's your daily practices, your gratitude attitudes, your journaling, your whatever it is that you need to do, your new daily practices, rituals, routines. That helps the core, the trunk of your tree, to get really strong, so that we can then just grow and our leaves can dance in the wind rather than get blown over every single time we're in crisis. And it's, for me, I feel it's so important that many of us have created the self-care package because we've had the time. We've stepped off of this crazy wheel of life, you know, and this treadmill of life. So as we start to emerge and step back onto that treadmill, I would say just keep it on a constant flow. Don't just start running like crazy, out of control. Keep those daily practices, because that's what's going to get you through anything that happens. So you don't need to go back into, you know, the falling over stage. Yeah. So for me, that's my best advice I can give.
Fabulous advice. I'm definitely a paddler.
All of the treadmill.
Okay, so are there any services you can provide until you can see people face to face again?
Yeah, so I have been providing since the beginning of lockdown a distant reflexology. So this is a practice that I developed several years ago, but didn't realize it was a thing until lockdown. So I've been sharing the technique with other therapists as well as my clients. And it's just as powerful as hands-on reflexology. Obviously, the power of human touch, there's nothing that can replace that, but this is the next best thing. How that works is we agree on a time. You find a nice quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed, and you imagine that you're on my couch and sit back and enjoy. Basically, I will then connect with you energetically, and I will imagine your feet in front of me and maybe do air reflexology or do the routine in my mind. And at the end of that, we will have a conversation about that. So I don't need technology up until that point. And in fact, even after that point, we don't have to have that conversation. It's just kind of nice to catch up. And basically everybody says they feel relaxed afterwards. So that's always a bonus. Most people say they feel a tingling on their feet and throughout their body. Some people actually have like a partner video their feet as I was working, and this is somebody in Australia and I'm in Sandwich in Kent, and they could actually see the skin changing color as I was pressing in various different parts of the foot. And they videoed that. So for me, that evidence was just amazing.
Oh, that's
and kind of proof that, I know it works.
Hmm.
But this is evidence that, it does definitely work, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So, so I can do that, and I can also do the distant Reiki and distant shamanic healing, which is been quite well known before lockdown. So there's no reason that we can't use other modalities such as reflexology. So that's how I can help you. Or I'm just a phone call away if you want to chat, or if you want some foot coaching, so through a foot reading, I can do that for you online.
Fabulous. Okay, so I can highly recommend your services myself, haven't used them myself, and even just talking to you when I'm not using your services, I always feel that much brighter. I feel like I'm smiling after. So I would love for people to go and check out your services and check out what you do, because it is truly magical. So how can people access your services? Okay,
so it's all the www.wendywatson.co.uk. It's my website. And a big shout out and thanks to you for helping me with that. Again, another recommendation. And also I'm on Facebook, which is you can check out my personal page if you wish, which is Wendy Watson. And that will lead you to Wendy Watson Healing on Facebook.
Fabulous. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.